What's up guys, and welcome back for another video. I hope everyone is staying safe amidst this pandemic and using your downtime to be creative and productive. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications because I have many new videos coming in the following weeks. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you my method for making functional 1/64 scale shocks and coilovers for your custom builds. I'm going to split this up into a two-part tutorial so I can get you the best quality video experience since I'm a small channel. Also, part 1 video will walk you through making a simple non-coil spring shock that looks realistic and works. Now let's get to it. First, you're going to need to purchase a set of wrist watch band springs. These are cheap. I think I paid right at $4 for this assortment at Harbor Freight. They have a little bit of travel and they look the part. For this tutorial, we're going to use the smallest of the bunch, the 8mm. And for comparison, I'm showing you the coil spring that I made in the second video. This one's probably right at about 23-24mm. You can see the difference between the largest watch band spring and the smallest 8mm. Next, using some 3/32 brass tubing, you're going to need to cut 2 eyelets for mounting your shock to your chassis. A little tip: when cutting small pieces of tubing, I like to use a smaller piece inserted inside the tubing I'm cutting. This keeps the small piece from falling through to another dimension never to be seen again. It'll keep you sane, trust me. Now, if you ever need to square these little pieces up, a trick I like to use is I drill a small hole into a piece of wood that I can insert the piece into, and then just use a file to file the top down nice and square, and then you can use a pick to remove it if need be. Now the fun part. Once those are cut, you will need to drill a small hole in each eyelet using a micro drill bit. You can see the colors I used in the video. I also made this handy little jig out of some scrap aluminum that serves several purposes, as you will see. You can slide the eyelets on the jig and it really aids in making those small holes, which are a complete pain, I'm not gonna lie. With those 2 pieces cut and drilled, I use my handy dandy jig to assemble the shock. Just slide an eyelet down one of the jig posts and center up the hole over the top of the jig so the watch spring can lay nice and flat. And using a little dab of CA glue on the top of the watch spring, I slide it into the hole of the eyelet. Now you're going to want to be real careful here not to glue your shock to the jig post. Use just enough to get it assembled, and then remove the shock and add more if needed later. Now just repeat the process for the bottom part of the shock. the CA glue is cured, you should have you a nice functioning little shock. If you want to add an extra bit of reinforcement, you can put the shock into a little clamp and add another dab of CA glue to the top and bottom of the shock. Just be careful to not get too much on the rod. Now these pins will be our mounting bolts. These pins can be found in the jewelry section of most hobby and craft stores. There are two types, and you'll want to select the one with a flat head. Some of these usually have a little casting flange around the heads that need to be cleaned up with a file so that they can sit flush. You'll need to cut them really short, maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. It really depends on the stud depth you're mounting to. And here I'm demonstrating how you would mount them using the custom chassis I built for an upcoming video. All you need to do is mount your shock, then using a dab of CA on the flat pin, place it in the stud and push it down tight. Now I do recommend test fitting several times before gluing it. And that's it for part 1, guys. Check out part 2 for how to build custom coilover shocks for your 4x4 or off-road builds. And as always guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate the support, and the channel is growing, so expect a lot more to come. Until next time, later.